Have you ever wondered why forgiving yourself is just as important as forgiving others? Well, let's take a journey together to discover the transformative power of self-forgiveness. In this vast tapestry of life, we often find ourselves entwined in intricate patterns of emotions, actions, and consequences. Some patterns bring joy, while others may lead to regret. And it is in these moments of regret that we stumble upon a powerful yet overlooked tool for personal growth: self-forgiveness. Just as a river cuts through a mountain not by force but by persistence, self-forgiveness is not a one-time act. It's an ongoing process, a persistent endeavor that paves the way for self-improvement. It's about acknowledging your mistakes, understanding their impact, and then gently releasing them. It's about giving yourself the same kindness and understanding you'd offer to someone else. But why is self-forgiveness so important, you may ask? To answer that, let's imagine our minds as gardens. Negative thoughts, like weeds, can quickly overrun a garden if left unchecked. They can stifle our growth, blocking the light of positivity and self-love from reaching us. Self-forgiveness in this metaphor is the gardener. It helps us to remove these weeds, to clear the path for healthier thoughts and emotions. It fosters a mindset that is nurturing, kind, and forgiving towards oneself. And there's more. Self-forgiveness is not just about making peace with our past, it's also about shaping our future. It encourages us to learn from our mistakes, to evolve, to become better versions of ourselves. It's a stepping stone for personal growth, a catalyst for positive change. As we delve deeper into this topic, we'll explore stories, insights, and practical tips to help you harness the power of self-forgiveness. We'll learn how to transform our regrets into resources, our guilt into growth, and our mistakes into opportunities for self-improvement. So, as we embark on this journey, remember, it's not about perfection, but progress. Meet John, a man whose life was once filled with regret and self-reproach. John was like any of us, navigating the complex labyrinth of life, making choices and sometimes making the wrong ones. Picture a man who once had a promising future, bright-eyed with ambitions that reached the stars. But as life would have it, he stumbled, tripped, and fell into the abyss of poor decisions. In his 20s, John was brimming with potential. A talented musician, he had a knack for creating melodies that touched hearts. But youthful indiscretions led him astray. Drawn to the allure of the fast life, he lost sight of his passion. Parties, reckless spending, and neglecting his loved ones became the norm. His talent was overshadowed by a lifestyle that was spiraling out of control. As the years passed, John's life became a series of regrets. He looked back at the opportunities he squandered, the relationships he damaged, and the talent he wasted. The guilt was a heavy burden, a constant reminder of what he could have been, what he should have been. John found himself emotionally and financially bankrupt. His music, once a source of joy and inspiration, was now a painful reminder of his wasted potential. He was drowning in a sea of remorse, regretting not only the things he had done, but also the things he hadn't. His relationships suffered too. Loved ones who had once stood by him, believing in his potential, slowly drifted away. They were tired of the chaos, the broken promises, and the constant disappointments. And John, consumed by guilt and self-reproach, felt he deserved nothing less. John was stuck in a cycle of self-condemnation, unable to break free. He was a man haunted by his past mistakes, living in a self-constructed prison of regret. But remember, dear listeners, John's story doesn't end here. His journey towards self-forgiveness, acceptance, and redemption is yet to unfold. But then, John stumbled upon the concept of self-forgiveness. It was a time when he was searching for ways to mend the pieces of his shattered life. He was desperate, and he was ready to try anything. It was then that he found a book on self-forgiveness, and it was as if the universe was nudging him towards the right direction. John read about how self-forgiveness is not about forgetting the past, but learning from it. It's about acknowledging the mistakes, understanding the circumstances that led to them, and then letting go of the guilt and shame that was holding him back. He learned that self-forgiveness is a journey, one that requires honesty, vulnerability, and courage. With this newfound understanding, John decided to apply self-forgiveness in his life. He started by acknowledging his past mistakes. He realized that he acted out of ignorance and pain, and he was not the same person he was back then. He accepted that he could not change the past, but he could change how he felt about it. But the journey was not smooth. He faced challenges, both internal and external. There were times when he felt overwhelmed by guilt and shame. There were moments when he doubted whether he was worthy of forgiveness. There were people who reminded him of his past, and there were circumstances that triggered old memories. Despite these challenges, John was not deterred. He practiced mindfulness to stay present and not get lost in the past. He sought professional help when things got tough. He surrounded himself with positive influences, individuals who believed in his capacity to change and grow. John learned to embrace his flaws and imperfections. He understood that he was a work in progress, that it was okay to make mistakes as long as he learned from them. He realized that by forgiving himself, he was not absolving himself of the consequences of his actions, but rather he was giving himself a chance at redemption, a chance to make things right. Despite the hurdles, John was determined to learn to forgive himself. He knew that self-forgiveness was the key to healing and moving forward, and so he held on to it, knowing that it was his path to a better, brighter future. As John began to forgive himself, something remarkable happened. Just as a caterpillar metamorphoses into a butterfly, John underwent a transformation. The cocoon of guilt and self-blame he had spun around himself began to unravel thread by thread as he learned the art of self-forgiveness. The first noticeable change was in his relationships. John had always been quick to blame himself for any mishaps, creating a wall between himself and others. But as he started to forgive himself, that wall crumbled. He was no longer defensive and guarded, but open and understanding. This shift did not go unnoticed by those around him. His relationships blossomed, imbued with newfound trust and mutual respect. In addition, his self-esteem started to improve. For years, John had viewed himself through a lens of self-condemnation. But self-forgiveness allowed him to replace that lens with one of self-love and acceptance. He began to recognize his worth, his strengths, and his capabilities. He stopped comparing himself to others and started celebrating his unique journey. This change in perspective was a shot of adrenaline to his self-esteem. Most importantly, John's overall well-being took a leap forward. He was no longer weighed down by the burdens of past mistakes. He learned to view them not as failures, but as lessons learned. This shift in mindset freed him from the shackles of guilt and regret, allowing him to live in the present and look forward to the future with optimism and enthusiasm. This transformation didn't happen overnight. It was a journey that required patience, persistence, and courage. But every step he took was a step towards a happier, healthier, and more fulfilling life. John's transformation is a testament to the transformative power of self-forgiveness. It's a reminder that it's never too late to let go of past mistakes and embrace the opportunity for growth and change. John's life had taken a turn for the better, all thanks to the power of self-forgiveness. John's story is a testament to the transformative power of self-forgiveness. He was once entangled in a web of regret and guilt, but through the power of self-forgiveness, he was able to break free and turn his life around. To recap, self-forgiveness isn't about forgetting the past or absolving oneself of responsibility. It's about acknowledging past mistakes, learning from them, and using that knowledge to become a better person. It's about letting go of self-blame and replacing it with self-compassion, understanding, and acceptance. It's about healing and moving forward. When we forgive ourselves, we open the door to personal growth and self-improvement. We empower ourselves to live a more fulfilling and meaningful life. We become better equipped to face challenges, make better decisions, and lead by example. So let's not hold ourselves captive to past mistakes. Let's forgive ourselves and embrace the present moment. Remember, the journey to self-forgiveness begins with a single step. Indeed, self-forgiveness is a journey, not a destination. It's a continuous process of understanding and accepting our past missteps, of realizing that these were not failures, but lessons that shape us into who we are today. It's about acknowledging that we are all works in progress, and it's perfectly okay to stumble and fall. And most importantly, it's about recognizing that it's not just okay, but essential to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and continue moving forward. So, let's embark on this journey of self-forgiveness together. Remember, you're not alone. There's a community here for you, ready to support you every step of the way. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and check out the playlist for more inspiring content. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes, but it's important to forgive yourself and move forward. After all, we're all human.